Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White, your host of Keeping It Real on Purpose. And I am so glad that we have this esteemed guest by the name of Trish Lynn. Listen, Trish Lynn is a life and business coach for women. She has been working with those who have toxic relationships. And this is a great topic. We love this because sometimes we're in toxic relationships. Okay. But this is going to be good. She helps them regain their confidence and find their voice. How you doing? And welcome to the show.
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for having me. I cannot wait to actually dive in on this topic.
So this is going to be good because I know after coming out of a toxic relationship that I'm in a toxic relationship, right? Yeah. I figured that out afterwards.
Yeah.
Tell us, go through a whole sitting with your client comes in, and maybe you know that they're in a toxic relationship, but they don't. How do you go through that?
So a lot of it is, thankfully, when they do come in, they recognize, hey, I was in this relationship. It was not supporting me. Right. But even prior to adding this piece into my work, all of the women that I had worked with had been in toxic relationships. So it was just sharing my experiences. I've been very open behind the scenes, sharing my experiences with clients, and just what I have been through. And I was in it for 16 years.
Wow.
So just really opening up and sharing what I've been through. They will tell me what they've been through, what they've experienced, and just really being able to empathize and share my experience and what I did and how I navigated these pieces. Because everyone navigates things differently, but sometimes you just don't know how to go about it.
Right. Yeah. And that normally happens when you're in a toxic relationship. There's a phrase that they use sometimes, like, how battered women stay in battered. I can't remember the phrase.
I don't remember the phrase, but the narcissist cycle is you go back.
Yeah, you go back. Right? You go back. Yeah. And being a survivor of childhood sexual trauma, there's also always a connotation. Well, why was you nice to the person? And it's the same thing. It's like you don't know anything else. Yeah. You don't know anything else. You know something's wrong, but you just don't know anything else. You just
You don't know different. So how can you do different if you don't know different?
No.
So a lot of it is education and knowing now that, hey, this isn't right. How, even for me last year, if we even go back a year, I was sharing my story in a mastermind, and things that to me were, okay, yeah, they sucked, but it happened. These women were like, holy shit, did that happen to you? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you don't realize the bigness of these events because to you, it's
absolutely. We don't realize the magnanimous abilities we have in ourselves, and the way that when we project, and I talk about this all the time, is about the voice. When I didn't have a voice, nothing happened. It was always, struggle. But when I started to have this voice, it was like something stood up in me. It's like, hey, I'm not like this thing going like this all day, but like, and I was able to, speak out. It took a bit. Let me tell you, I think I stopped speaking at 12. I stopped talking, just like only giving answers, yes, no, and, and grumbling. And I think I stopped around that time. And to have that, to realize that I didn't have that voice for so long was like empowering. And I think it's so important what you do, because I think you bring them back to the relationship with themselves, right?
100%. It's helping women come back to their confidence. So for me, being in the narcissistic marriage, we were together 16 years, married 11. I didn't have, they dwindle every little ounce of confidence that you have in yourself. So growing a business in the online space and, showing up and even sharing, my confidence was like all the way down here. And a lot of women I meet are the same. Not only do they not have the confidence in themselves, but they have the mindset of self-sabotage, or they're not good enough, or they don't have what it takes, all pieces that I've lived and been through. And now I'm thankful on the other side of it.
Right.
Because it's coming back to who you are. You're not the same person you were before that relationship, but you're not the same person you were in that relationship. Now you have a solid foundation that you get to build with that experience.
Yes.
We get to move forward, rebuild that confidence, rebuild that trust in yourself, because you don't trust yourself after that. You've in your mind, you've already screwed up wrong. It's being able to bring all of those pieces back so that you can actually move forward in your business. Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to see those results. You're not going to grow your business. You're not going to get to
and it's true. It all works together, Trish. It all works together. And you're not the same person after trauma. And I often explain what it is for me as a survivor of childhood trauma. I think of it as a mirror. You punch the mirror, right? It's all different fragmented pieces, right? And one piece may fall out, you put it back together, but it's still a mirror.
Yeah.
I may be looking at now. That's how I view things, with that punch in the mirror.
Yeah.
So it's a skewed view, and at some point, I am now going to shift my thinking or my perception and look in the bigger piece instead of the pieces that are broken. I'm going to look through that bigger piece. So you're, even though that you're not that you have to be fixed, but this is the way your view is now, because the experience has changed the way you view things. And then even seeing it on the other side of healing, right? It's still a work in progress, because healing is long-term. It's like you leave here, it really is. It's not like a one-stop shop. It really isn't. It's not.
No, it's a continuous process, because with each new piece that comes up, you're going to have pieces that come up, and out of nowhere, that trauma just comes in and goes, and you're right back.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. It just comes up. You'd be like, what?
Yeah. And it's learning how you start to move through these pieces that really helps you build and heal quicker. Because yes, it's always going to continually come up. Even in business, with each new level, there's something new that's going to come up for you.
Comes up, right.
And it's how you learn to manage these. I was just saying this. We have all of these tools in our toolbox, yet we forget to use them. It's learning to keep using them, keeping on top of what you need to do as these pieces come up.
Right. And I think that's a good thing that life coaches do, is we remind you, or we say, hey, you have this ability. It's right there. You have a hammer. You don't remember how to use it? Let me help you. Let me show you how to use that hammer again. And we're just really dusting off your tools, because you have them already. They're there. We're just dusting them off and helping you to get back in this of movement, getting back to using them, working, and that's the good part about what we do. I often work with a lot of women who are coming out of the sales market, because I used to be in real estate. So I work with a lot of people who are real estate and who are coming out of, working in sales, and it's a male dominated area, that, and it's challenging. What do I do now? Pack on. I have to go to work because I have children. I have to make this money, and I'm in a position that commissioned. Stress all by itself. It's so stressful. So I work with women like that, and they do live and work in toxic places because sometimes they have to.
Yep.
Sometimes and they don't know they have a choice, but this is what I got to do right now.
Yeah. Oh, I've had so many conversations about toxicity, not just in relationships, but in the workplace.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, and it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I'm not going to say it's men. It's predominantly men, but there are still toxic women as well. And it's people who are ego-driven.
Yeah. It is, yeah. And I was just talking about that with one of my friends. I was like, I love collaboration like what we're doing now. And I love, working with women that love working with me. But it saddens me that there's still a thought of that we're competition against one another. That saddens me. It really makes me sad, because I'm like, I'm not you and you're not me. So there's no competition. There's just literally no competition. We can have the same title. We can have the same degrees. It's still not the same, because we're two different people.
That's it. One of my closest friends does marketing as well. And we get along so well. We're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Who we work with are completely different niches.
Right.
So there's no, even if it wasn't, there's no competition, because we're here to help each other grow.
Right, exactly.
And the power of that, when women come together and help each other grow, we soar, because we know our strengths and we can see it in others. And
it's amazing. Let me tell you, it's powerful. When I decided I was working in a toxic environment when I went back to work in my late 50s. I was 54 or something like that, and I was in my need, because I needed to work. And I was like, but I already saw the signs. I just saw them. I was like, because I never worked for anyone before. I always worked for myself. So I was like, I got a challenge here. It's like, and I said to myself, I'm gonna give it 5 years. So I'm gonna give it 5 years, and if I can't handle it, before then, I'll opt out. And I did, because it was getting to me. I was burnt out. Within 4. Burnt out within 4. Yeah. When you're trying to navigate, I guess, I just say just toxic in general, when someone who's not emotionally intelligent, and there's a lot of that going on. And when there's no emotional intelligence, therefore it creates that toxicity. So the mixed with everything else, the emotional intelligence is not there, and their trauma is showing. Like my mom says, your slip is showing. Their trauma is showing, and ball that up, and now you got someone that's trying to lead other people. Totally toxic, and you're going to bleed on everybody else. You're just going to bleed on everybody else. So it was definitely getting to me. I was getting headaches, and I was miserable. I was feeling myself getting to the point of, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just opted out. I got out. But when I got out, there was no thought about if I was going to fail. I had to make it work. You had to make it work. And I think that's what you do with building up confidence, because you have to make it work past what you're feeling or what you need. You have to build yourself up.
Yeah, you have to make it work. Like the women I work with, you don't want to go work for someone else. We're in it for the flexibility and the freedom.
Right, exactly.
I don't have a plan B. My business is my business, and it has to work, because I have kids. They have schedules. I have to work around their schedule, right? And it's just
work. Yeah.
It's that grit and determination to keep going no matter what.
Yeah. And you have to have confidence in yourself. As women, we give out inspiration, motivation to other people, even to our children and everyone else. But when it comes to reflectively saying, what did I give myself today? Probably a headache because you're aggravated, but we didn't give ourselves, compassion, forgiveness, empathy. We didn't give ourselves those things. And it's so important for us to do on a regular basis, is fall back on ourselves and give those good things to ourselves.
Exactly. Well, we always put ourselves last, right? Even in the littlest things, I forget to take my own advice. I'm like, I'm here preaching this, but I'm not doing it for myself. I'm like, hold on. If I were coaching me, what do I need to do?
Right. Exactly. And actually, I do that to myself all the time. Like, I got to coach myself together. I just got to get myself together.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, you need to calm down. You need to meditate. I'm like, wait a second. I need to go meditate.
It's true. And what about when you're talking to someone and an aha moment comes for you? Have you ever had that? Like, I'd be like on a podcast or something, talking to somebody, interviewing somebody, and I say something so profound I never heard it before in my life, and I'm like, this is my aha moment. Let me write this down, and I'm like, hold on.
Right? I know. I've got my pen here. I've got paper.
Like, hold on 1 minute.
Because I'll be having these conversations, and I'll say something like, that was really good.
Yeah.
Right?
Shock yourself. You shock yourself.
But it's in those moments where you're just being real and honest and in the flow that
you shock yourself. Yeah. It's so amazing because you really just like shock yourself, because when you give out and you give from a place of you're aligned, the levels of I guess I want to say growth just pop. It's like you don't even expect it. It's just, ooh, wow, that's something new. Wow. And it's so amazing to see and feel, I'm feeling freedom more than I've ever felt in my entire life. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. This is really super.
Being able
and I think what you do with the women now, how far did you take them in their journey? Is it 3 months, 6 months? How far do you take them?
So I've had clients come into my world and we start at 3 months. I have a mastermind at 6 months because it does take that time to really come together.
Right.
One lady came in as one-on-one coaching, started at 3 months, resigned for another 3 months, resigned for another 3 months. Right. So really depended on, hey, how long do you want to stay? Like, let's keep going.
Right.
Because you can accomplish so much.
Right.
But at the same time,
right,
when you're having fun and you're both continuously growing, because my clients learn from me, but I also learn from them.
Absolutely do. That's true. And I think I want to talk about this is that people think that life coaches are linear, and so if you say you're a life coach, oh, you're just like this one or that one, but they don't seem to understand what you just said. I can come in for confidence, but then I'll say to you, hey, Edna, I want to write a book. And you go over you, and I coach you through that. I coach you through that, doing that. Or you can say, Edna, I want to, change my career and I don't know really what I want to do. And this is what I love to do, but I've got this major. How can we bring these, people think it's very linear what coaches do. That's why we have such a hard time sometimes finding our niches, because they think it's linear. Yeah. And we always have to try to personify things, and it irritates me.
I just said this a couple of weeks ago. I feel like I'm trying to fit myself into a box. I'm like,
yes.
We leave corporate to not fit into a box, yet we get into the online space and we're trying to fit ourselves in this box. Yeah. No, so this is what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. It's a holistic approach. It's every little piece comes together. I'm not.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to go work on your strategy. No, because when you've been in that toxic relationship, the strategy is like such a minor piece to your work.
It sure is. It is.
Yeah, mindset work, the energetic work, the confidence, believing in yourself, knowing you are worthy.
Absolutely.
Being worthy of actually selling your services is such a big piece, because you have that fear of, are the clients going to lash out at me if they don't get the results?
Right. You're right. You're totally right. And mindset has to do with a lot of even setting your packages.
Yeah.
Setting your packages up to, that's a whole big deal.
Yeah.
Setting up your packages and pricing things right. When I know you have a coach, so I know that. That I know. Every good coach has a coach. I know that. And when I'm talking to my coach most of the time, he's saying to me, Edna, all this is great. I want you to be focused on one thing. And he always brings me back to one thing. And as soon as I master, I feel so good because I'm mastering one thing. And that's, what I hear from you, for your clients, they're mastering one thing, mastering it. And it takes mastering sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but it takes mastering.
Yeah.
Confidence is a thing. It's a thing. I can't I'm gonna tell you something. Years ago, I was working with a partner of mine, and we had a firm together, and so we were working together. And she goes, "We're working on our goals together." She says, "What one goal do you want?" So I said to her, "I want to be able to walk in a room, and they just know my name, and I don't have to say it." So she looked at me, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want." Um, she said, "Why would you want that?" I said, "Because I have." Coming from my background, I talk like I know things, but I don't walk like that. I was like, I don't have that confidence. I don't have that self-worth that's sitting in the pit of your belly,
Yeah.
and it's sitting there, and no one can make you waver, no matter how much, whatever they look at you or say to you, it doesn't make you waver. I want
Yeah.
that confidence. And I'm telling you, I walk into rooms and people walk over to me. I know you. And I'm not nobody. I'm not, I mean, not that I'm not nobody. I'm not somebody, a celebrity. I'm not. And you just walk like one. That you just walk like it, and that's okay.
Yeah, and it's
But that's the kind of confidence I sought after my whole life, and I think that's what you give your clients. And
you
I
need
give
that
my clients as
confidence.
well.
Yeah, you need that to be able to show up here online and share what you want to share, say what you want to say in your content, be able to do the things that you need to do to be visible,
right?
To bring other women into your world. If you work with women, like there's so many pieces of confidence that go into actually showing up and having a business in the online space.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's tough, in that space, and again, just the imposter syndrome that shows up. Like I was changing my LinkedIn page. I was like, oh God, I'm going to change my page, and people are going to think I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, but you know what? I don't care. I was like, because now I know what I want. I was like, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Everything's a work in progress. Nothing's written in stone. And even if it's written in stone, you could break it and start all over again.
That's it. I was on a TV show last week, and I was sitting with a panel of powerhouse women, like absolute powerhouses. Two of them were doctors. You want to talk about imposter syndrome? I got on, and they were introduced like mini panic, heart attack. Oh my God. This little old me sitting here with doctors on this panel for women. And I'm like, okay, I've got this. She picked me to be on here. I know my stuff. I am good. Stop panicking. But I think we still all have those moments that come up because
we have them.
For so long we have felt like we don't belong.
Yeah, for so long. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's good that you did that. I used to feel like that before, a lot of times. And I was around doctors, and a lot of my volunteerism is around doctors, council people, legislators, all of this stuff. And here's the lowly person that comes in, and I'm like, yeah, they're people too. I've gotten to that stage. They're people. And I'm so comfortable. Not in what people say in their skin. I'm so comfortable at being myself that I can't imagine. I know what I was missing. It's so liberating to be so free and so fabulous at the same time.
Well, that's like when it comes to people, I'm not intimidated by anyone. I don't care what your status is, what your title is. I'm not intimidated. But it came to this TV show, and I just had the moment that I had to walk myself through. Wow.
Right, exactly. There will be times, that happens for sure. And I'm thinking for sure for them too, because no matter you've done it for years. Like I've been speaking for years, and certain audiences, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be heavy, this is gonna be heavy. I was just in Canada speaking, right? And it was all professionals, all doctors, all of that. And I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be heavy. I'm talking holistics to doctors, So, but it was okay. Got up there, it was amazing, And when I came from that authentic place, I was great.
Yeah.
I was super. I was like so proud of myself. So those moments come, they come for us, and it's good. It's good.
They're good moments, and we still push through, and that's why we have support systems, right?
We gotta push
come
through.
back. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what could you tell our audience, or give last words to our audience about, either toxic relationships, getting out of it, your confidence, or even finding their voice?
So if you're in a toxic relationship and you feel stuck, know that you're not stuck. You are not alone. There are plenty of us who have been through it that are here to support you. Find me on social media. I know my links will be posted. I do have a free support group. The confidence piece comes with that. It's really looking at the mindset when it comes to your confidence and the thoughts that you're thinking. And just really checking in on yourself. Where do you want to be? What is it that is ultimately holding you back from being there? And confidence is such a deep reflection piece in the end. And finding that voice is just a part of rebuilding that confidence in yourself.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. This is good stuff, audience. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm hoping that you'll reach out to Trish Lynn. I know she's in the online space and she can take you wherever you are. Global. She's global.
Oh, yeah.
So make sure you reach out to her if you want to leave a voicemail on the audio. Remember, all you have to do is click the button. We'll send the question or the comment straight over to Trish. If you are on the YouTube channel, definitely leave your comments below and subscribe and tell somebody else about it. This is your host, Edna White, and my esteemed guest, Trish Lynn, saying goodbye for now.